Hi, I'm Jim, narcissist, narcissistic personality disorder. Uh, Making these videos for anybody that's looking to gain information, right? I share some of my experiences, some of my challenges, things that I think, might be helpful to other people, and if not, they're actually helpful to me, just being able to to talk about these things out loud. And, yeah. So today, I wanted to talk about something I've talked about before, more than once, but it keeps coming back. And this seems to be, for some reason, the one that keeps coming back, and I don't understand why. I think I got it under control. I think I got the perfect, way to battle it, and nope, comes back. And then I come up with another way, and same thing. And the bad news for me, well, not bad news, I mean, inconvenient news, let's say. The inconvenient news for me is I've already met with my counselor this week, all right? So I will not be meeting with him till next week, which, this is really something I think at this point we really have to delve into again, just like we have in the past. I definitely think that there's more here than either of us had any idea of. And I'll side note a little bit. So I've been in counseling for several months. When I first acknowledged and accepted I have this disorder, I interviewed my counselor, and I chose a cognitive behavioral therapist because all the research I did said that is the best way to truly invoke change with someone with NPD. So if you're not aware, there is no cure. There is no medication, right? If you go to a psychiatrist and the psychiatrist prescribes something, like at that point, you need to ask him what he's prescribing and why. All the research out there says there's no medication that will alleviate the symptoms in any way, shape, or form of narcissistic personality disorder. If you have other symptoms of other things like anxiety and stuff like that, they may be prescribing, medication for those other things, but not for NPD. So if you got a psychiatrist that's prescribing you medicine, at that point, you need to ask them why. Like I'll give you a perfectly good kind of analogy. I remember when I was back in college, there was this terrible stomach bug going around, right? And you're in college. At that point, I thought, man, I was just having good parties, man. Everybody just throwing up and hitting the bathroom, right? Because I had good parties, right? But no, it was a stomach bug, and I tell you what, I couldn't believe it. One of my friends is like, oh, I gotta takes out some pills. And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I got antibiotics from the infirmary. And I'm like, this is a stomach virus. This isn't a bacteria, right? Antibiotic against life kill bacteria, right? I'm like, this is a virus. Antibiotic doesn't do anything. And you can't make this stuff up. And they're like, I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean? I'm like, they know it's a virus, right? They know that the medication they're giving you does nothing. I'm like, did they really still? They're like, yeah, that's what they gave me. I was like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I'm not a doctor, right? But I got common sense. And yeah, so if a psychiatrist is prescribing you medication and you have narcissistic personality disorder, just have an open conversation. Because there may very well, like I said, be a reason, hey, you have anxiety or something like that, and they're prescribing it for something else, right? But I would strongly say, hey, man, if they're just prescribing you medicine because they want to see their signature on a piece of paper, you know what I mean? That's, because at the infirmary, that's what they were doing, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's crazy. That makes no sense. There's no way those pills are going to help in any way, shape, or form. If anything, they're going to hurt. Because antibiotics kill all bacteria. They don't just go in and get the bad bacteria. They kill the good bacteria too. So all you got a whole bunch of good bacteria in there. It's just killing it for no reason, and it's not gonna help your stomach bug. Because it's a virus, right? So that's my soapbox. But I'm not a licensed doctor or psychiatrist or anything like that. So don't take, just have an open conversation, right? So I interviewed my counselor, right? I, of course, choose not to go to a psychiatrist because they do prescribe medication. And what I want is talk therapy. So I want one-on-one cognitive behavioral therapy, to assist and engage with things like my survivor's guilt, right? So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a licensed professional counselor, right? Cognitive behavior focused. And that's what I found. Interviewed him, right? Hit it off. He's my man. Love the dude. He's awesome. He's amazing. I tell you what, man, I feel like bump these people at Starbucks, man. I should be tipping my freaking counselor, right? Every time I'm out, like, yo, you're another 20, dude. Good job, right? Seriously, dude kills it, right? If I'm not there, he's working on things. This isn't just I get my hour. I mean, I give him homework. He gives me homework. It's amazing, right? This is a great, phenomenal, professional relationship. It's spectacular, and I'm glad I interviewed him, and I'm glad I have him. So we started 2 sessions a week. Recently, not that long ago, we had an open discussion that we kind of felt that the second session was more just kind of becoming me just telling you what's going on in my life. And so one session was, hey, let's get down to some meaty stuff and really get some work done. And then the other one was like, well, let's just kind of like talk about what else is going on, right? So we kind of felt like that one session was wasn't wasteful, but it wasn't as productive as it needed to be, which meant that we had probably progressed to the point where, backing off to one session a week was really the way to go, which we did, and it's worked really well. But I've already had my one session for the week, so I'm not going to be able to bring this up to him until next week. All right, so you guys get it early. You guys get it without without any therapist influences. All right. So, one of my biggest challenges with my disorder, and you know what, this might even be the biggest. Like, this is the one that wants to kill me. Like, if there's one thing that I do, and I do because of my disorder, that's realistically gonna get me killed, it's this. And I think I keep beating it, and it keeps coming the fuck back. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna openly curse, man. I'm gonna let it fly, right? So yeah, there'll be a lot of vocabulary. I apologize. So I'm a jogger. Started a health journey about 3.5 years ago. Jogging is a regular part of my life. I jog 2 to 3 times a week. I won't tell you how far, but it's not short distances, right? I noticed that when I jog, it's, I feel this crazy sense of superiority. It's everything that, the disorder, they tell you about someone with this disorder, that you feel better than the people in the cars, right? So when I'm coming up to a car that's trying to pull out of a parking lot, I think they should stop for me. And if they're stopped, I think they should wait for me. And they should not be, the middle of their car should not be in my freaking crosswalk, right? And I tell you, in my head, I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm healthy, I'm exercising, and you're lazy, and you know what I mean? I just get this holier, I'm so much better than these people, thoughts that go through my head, and that's why, they should be stopping their cars and all this other stuff. And there's, and when I run, to give you a little information, I run some busy streets, right? So I do I do an out and back, which means I want to run X amount of miles. So I go one way, make a left, and half of what I want, that's when I turn around, stop, and go back the same exact way I came. And I've been doing this forever, since I moved here in September, right? And when I moved here in September, I was doing it 3 times a week. Now that I'm at a new job, I do this when I work remote Tuesdays and Thursdays on my lunch. I take a long lunch. Because side note, I can't go jog like that and then go back to work. I got shower, man. Even if it's a little bit of sweat, it's weird. Yeah. So and I pass some really busy streets, like there's some bad sections. Like I don't live in the good part. There's good parts near me, but not where I'm at. I mean, there's some bad parts, right? Fun parts. I like the fun part of the city. I really do. But fun means at any point, if I say the wrong thing to the wrong car, and I'm not just I'm in the South. This isn't just, you're talking about violence in impoverished areas. This is, man, you got good old boys too, right? Everybody's got a gun in their car. I mean, I live in a state where they had to cancel music festivals because they wouldn't allow the music festival to to disallow firearms. And I'm sorry, I mean, if you, well, let me not get political, right? But that just goes to show you, everybody got guns here, man. Everybody got guns, and you say the wrong thing, and they're gonna get out, they're gonna shoot you. I mean, come on, right? It's happening. It's happening every day, right? Yeah, you see it, right? But that's not just it. But what about the getting run over too? I mean, there's so many different ways for me to get killed engaging in this behavior. So initially, I was like, man, this behavior's wrong. I mean, this is my disorder. I gotta reverse this behavior. Sorry, I gotta hydrate. Oh man, pardon me. Okay, so I gotta change this behavior. So I came up with this flawless logic. So here's the thing: the state I live in, we have a law, right? I have the right to the crosswalk. You have to yield to me. So if I get to that crosswalk first, you have to stop for me. It's the law. And I tell you what, that's a lot of times when I'm out running, that was what I was doing. I'm like, it's the law. But at the end of the day, if you run me over and kill me, does it matter if you broke the law or not? I'm still dead, right? So I started telling myself, hey, it doesn't matter if it's the law or not. I don't want to die. And I would say that as I would start coming up to these corners. And that worked for a while. And then it came back. And then I noticed, oh, well, now I'm doing it on like the little smaller side streets, right? Well, no, yeah. So I noticed I was, kind of came back and I was doing it again. So what I would do is every time I got to one of these main streets, I would stop, pause my watch, right? And I would say to myself, I'm not going to die for my disorder today. Every car will have the right of way. See, I even made it rhyme. And now I noticed it came back again. And it wasn't just that. I mean, it's, there's small little businesses that aren't main streets that, I mean, man, these people aren't looking at me at all. I mean, and really just almost running me over, right? But I'm noticing again, and some and I know it's not like before where I would just full on like curse you out, and I would have to spend like the rest of my jog being afraid that you're at a business somewhere waiting to kill me. I mean that was my reality. Like I would curse you out like crazy, but I mean. That might have been a 10, but I started finding myself getting back to like 2s and 3s. You know what I mean? Where if I'm in the crosswalk, and like I said, I mean, these people they're just not seeing me. And I mean, almost hit me. I'm like, Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. That's still my disorder, right? I knew the car had stopped. Did it startle me? Yes. Was there a need to make any kind of comment? No, not at all. Not at all, right? I want that disorder to be at a 0. And like I said, that kind of comment might only be a 3 or a 4. But that's not what I want for my future, right? I want my future better than my past. I want that at a 0. I want that, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff I want to get rid of, right? And that's the stuff that feeds when I get to that main road, instead of stopping like I normally do, let me look ahead and, you know what I mean? And So I don't know what to do because it'll keep coming back. But I have some other concerns, right? I brought this up to my therapist, and I've often wondered this. So, my narcissistic personality disorder, all narcissistic personality disorder comes from trauma. My trauma was walking home from baseball practice with my brother, and he got hit by a car when we were walking back, and I was just a couple feet away from him. I've always wondered if I had, because here's, I've told you, I ride a motorcycle. I literally a couple of months ago had no idea how to ride one. Can't make this stuff up. I bought it, didn't take lessons, taught myself how to ride it. Very early on, I mean, I started riding it in shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, I'm on that thing going fast. I want glory hound with speed, right? Probably good because I ain't out there doing 150 or anything like that, right? But I mean, one bump or one car, and I mean, even if I don't get killed, I mean, I lay that bike down, I don't have skin. All these beautiful tattoos you see, ooh, now we glory hound, right? All this money I have on all these nice tattoos, they all gone. They're done. I lose all that, right? Like that, And I wonder why. And I tell myself it's, there's something about feeling that air. But I wonder if it's more. If deep down inside that survivor's guilt wants me to die in an accident. It won't, justification for not being hit when my brother did. And I keep coming back to, is that why I can't fucking conquer this one? Because it's not the disorder. It's the fucking survivor's guilt. It's my mind wants me to get run over and killed. Even before the motorcycle, I'm on my 4th Wrangler, and I've always owned Wranglers, and I'm the one that just top and doors are always off. And I promise you that I went not wearing a seatbelt as long as I could. I can't tell you how many seatbelt tickets I got before I finally gave in. And I'll share the story because it's kind of neat. When you have narcissistic personality disorder, right? So I had justified why I should be allowed to, of course, not wear a seatbelt in the vehicle. And I tell you, every time a cop gave me a ticket, I drove off without my seatbelt on, right? But man, I got hit with some flawless logic and I couldn't fight it. The ex hit me hard. So, yeah. And you always get that, you want to be alive for the kids, and you want to be alive for this, and you want to be, and I'd heard all those, and that's my choice, right? And that was, that argument never did anything. But, man, my ex was like, it's a $125 ticket. That's a Christmas present you just took from your kids. Fuck. Couldn't fucking argue it, man. Couldn't fucking argue. She hit me with the flawless logic. That's selfish, right? That at the end of the day, whether I agree with the law or I don't, it's still the law. And I still have to pay the ticket. And if I didn't have to pay the ticket, that money could have gone towards a Christmas present for one of my kids. She was 110% right. And that's one of the few times she beat the narcissist. It changed my entire opinion and view. I started wearing my seatbelt. But for years I didn't. I would even joke around. I would tell work, I was like, look, I'm gonna be here on time one way or another. Either I'm gonna pull up, pull into a parking spot, or I'm gonna get in an accident and just come flying through one of the windows. But that's dangerous behavior, right? Yeah. Even to the point where I brought up to my therapist, like, this is really freaky. And here's the thing, like, I don't believe in a whole bunch that I can't prove, right? I'm atheist, agnostic, however you wanna put it. I just, I kind of need that evidence to believe it, So I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in Bigfoot. Right? I really don't believe in any of that kind of stuff. When people start talking about like astrological signs, none of it, right? I'm more of a narcissistic personality disorder, black and white, right? I need the empirical scientific evidence. I need to see it. It needs to be tangible. I need to put my hands on it. That's just kind of the way my mind works. Maybe similar if you have this disorder. But the reason I'm telling you this is because this is really a stretch, but I've often thought this. So I've been in some really bad car accidents, and none of them are my fault. And I know what you're thinking immediately. You narcissist, Of course, it's not your fault. I mean, to the point where, like, I lived in Florida, and I'm not sure if you're aware. So some states have a percentage fault, right? And that's Florida, which means if you and I get in an accident, you can be faulted 80%, and I can be faulted 20%, right? You can be faulted 40, I can be faulted 60. So some states where it's one's faulted and the other's no fault, right? But you have some that'll break down the percentages, and Florida is one of those. I'm talking about accidents in Florida where both of them I was 0%, right? So I'm not just, this isn't Mr. Narcissist, it wasn't my fault. So the one, I'm coming through I'm at a red light, right? To kind of like major highways. Light turns green, and I'm like 4 or 5 cars back. And just out of nowhere, the pickup truck this way doesn't see the red light, right? That was in the Wrangler, no top, no doors. Another time, I'm driving at night, and I'm doing like, I don't know, like 75, 80. And I found out the hard way that, there's a big, huge median, 3-lane highway here, 3 lanes on the, coming the other way, a big, wide grass median in between, and I mean really wide. I found out the hard way that if headlights are right in front of you, or if they're on the other side of the highway, you don't know, because it's dark. Like, my mind believed that it's just like the other cars. This car is on, but no, it's right in front of me. So an elderly lady, not sure what happened, have no idea, maybe had a seizure, stroke. I'm only speculating, I have no idea. Came across the grass median. I was doing 80, I don't know how fast she was going, boom, head on, right? So at that point, cars flipping, rolling, went on oncoming traffic, got hit again, off to the embankment until eventually, I hit a tree and stopped me. So, and again, 0% at fault, right? So I brought up to my therapist, I'm like, it sounds kind of crazy. I'm like, I get accidents happen and it's random, right? Like, I have to be, one of the things with my survivor's guilt is I have to acknowledge, right, that I was lucky to not have been hit by that car. And I have to be accepting, right, and appreciative and allow myself to consider myself lucky to not have been hit by that car, right? But I've wondered if I just got some weird, and I'm not talking about my brother's accident, but because of my brother's accident, that I truly, like, something inside of me wants to die in an accident, that I want a motor vehicle accident to take my life in some way, shape, or form, and it's unconscious, and I don't realize it. Like I said, I'm very, I need empirical evidence, but, I have some really, can't believe I walked away from, like, very few people have, stories like this kind of accident that, like I said, I mean, and I almost wonder if, like, yeah, see, I'm crazy. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just think that's a really, really strange coincidence, right? I'm not saying that I willed my brother's accident, but I'm saying because of my brother's accident and my survivor's guilt, have I found myself a way to be in those kind of situations, right? Someone has to be on the other side of that highway. That car is going across the grass median into oncoming traffic. Somebody has to be there. Why was it me? That light, same thing, right? That light's green, but somebody has to be that 5th car in that row that's going to get hit. And I brought that up to my therapist, right? Just maybe you believe in ghosts. Maybe, you believe in astrological signs. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm saying I wonder if there is a chance that my mind puts me in those situations and it knows that they're coming. I don't know. Maybe. But there's something about this jogging. And that's raw. That's real. Because like I said, it's dangerous. And I need to get a handle on it. I need to get control of it. Accountability, motherfucker. Fuck. Fucking accountability. All right, here you go. So I have run in 5 different directions from my house. The one that I run is the most fucking dangerous, of course. I literally, at one point, was like, I'll start running the other way. And I did. Ran it twice. Now I was like, you know what? I'll switch. One day a week, I'll run this nice, safe way. And then the other day, I'll run this dangerous way. Went right back to running the dangerous way. So, yeah, I heard myself say it. Jim, the answer's right in front of you. I told you I was going to curse a lot. Don't be a dickhead. Take the safe way. But what is it? Is it I want to run the dangerous way? Or, do I just want more people to see me running? Because I need to feel awesome and amazing. I don't know. Maybe a little both. Who knows? I hate being like this. I hate feeling like I can't control it. I hate feeling like I can't conquer it. I've done a lot of great stuff. I've had a lot of amazing progress. This is not one of them. Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop trying. Doesn't mean I'm gonna quit. Doesn't mean I'm gonna give up. Right? Just means I gotta put in more work. Got some more figuring out to do. There's some figuring out to be done with this one. A little bit. All right. That was a pretty intense one today. Yeah. Especially when I hit you with that one at the end about the easy way. Yeah, I choose not to take it. I do. It's so much easier. And of course there's, I could drive somewhere and jog and, on a trail, or I'm not going to do that. I walk out my front door and start jogging. That's just a me thing. But yeah, that hits hard. Why I don't take the easy way. Yeah. Okay. Hope this was helpful. I mean, if you're dealing with any of the same kind of challenges, things that you just keep seeing recurring, and don't give up. Work with your therapist. Find new ways to battle it. Right. Find the core reason. That's the. I think that's going to be the goal here. We got to find the core reason of what satisfaction my mind is getting out of this, right? Because my mind wants something, and that's why my mind keeps having me do it. What's it getting? What does it want? And when I figure that out, how do we replace it with something else? That's cognitive behavior therapy. That's what, So that's what we're going to have to work on. Yeah. All right. That's a lot. Again, I hope it was helpful.